Al pie del Ávila majestuoso, a 920 metros sobre el nivel del mar, en un valle de verde geografía que se abre de este a oeste, surge Caracas, la capital de Venezuela.
And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Go get some!
What's going on, fellas? My name is Rafael Chacin, and with my co-host, Zenith. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Comic Club, because in this club, we're born to fight anytime, anywhere, anytime, because we're getting ready for the UFC 321 on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, because it's going to be so much epic between two amazing fights. Because first and foremost, I just wanted to tell you between like all of the fights right now. So in this card, I just wanted to tell you this is going to be really explosive, but our topic is going to be like really explosive at all, because we're going to discuss about the recap between Brendan Allen versus Renier Derridier on UFC Vancouver. And of course, we're going to preview the main card of the UFC 2021, which is going to be on Abu Dhabi, Sarabia. So how you feel about it? Because on UFC Vancouver, I mean, Canadians won't disappoint. And to be honest, right now, that was like a shocking surprises coming up there for UFC Vancouver last week.
Yeah, most definitely. Can't wait to talk about that UFC 321, a big event over in Abu Dhabi this week. Early start time, by the way, guys. So it is going to start 11 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, and then for the prelims, it's going to be 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. That being said, guys, big fight that happened last week between Dior and Brandon Allen. But just that fight card in general. We had Zahabi get a win, we had Mike get a win, and obviously some early wins early on in the night. I can't say I watched a complete card because I did get busy towards the end, so I did kind of miss the most important fights on the card. But I did see some knockouts early on in the night, some submissions early on in the night. But yeah, let's get to talking about it, Ralph.
Yeah, because talking about like the UFC of Vancouver, I mean, it would just like really surprise me at all because I really thought that Anthony Fluffy Hernandez could handle against Randy the Radier, but Brendan Allen just couldn't win because I know all the wondering why it is really important because the grappling is a key of success, and Brendan Allen just really, really, really can't do it. And to be honest, right now, I mean, Randy the Radier, I mean, he was like really gas, but to be honest, right now, if things are gonna really happen at all, because there's no clue that all the watching fighters because they have really not giving it off for the fight too much damage here. I mean, it's a common thing. I mean, there's nothing like really shameful about throwing the towel when your fighter is unable to continue. I mean, they do like all of this right now, and I was getting really involved because after we just saw the fight against Roy Taker, everybody's just getting all is gonna be really over. But after that fight against Brendan Allen, we've been seeing gas out and we've been seeing like quitting in the stool before. It sucks, but there it is. I mean, he had nothing left. He will learn and not to put himself in that situation. I mean, he was like pretty classy on that defeat, but it's the only way to go. I mean, cutting 4 pounds in 4 times in 10 months, it's the real problem because he didn't gaslight it against Whittaker in the time he retired on the stool before he was getting shit rocked by Anatole McKean. I mean, Brendan Allen looked great, but he wasn't dealing about for the level of damage against Randy the Radier. And that's fair because they give it like a lot of props to quit in and out of the stool, but they would keep it a try if this coach did the right thing and save him. And they have it like 6 fights in 15 months, 5 UFC fights in 11 months. I mean, I like that a constantly weight cuts and training camps for non-stop fights. I mean, he fought 4 times this year and cut a ridiculous amount of weight of time. So it's about to catch up eventually because he will take so much needed. And I think the middleweight cut is too much and his powerful will continue to suffer. I don't know if that fighting style would have given it the size advantage at like heavyweight where it's that really eater. Because I really thought that there could be like so much happen. And I really thought that Brendan Allen could handle it like this one. But it seems that it always happened. It always happened because most of those things didn't become like really improvised at all. But Brendan Allen just take a lot of advantage to get it involved and not get it out right now. But it seems that they were 2 different fighters. I mean, it makes sense to give it off, but he was counting to every move that it just happened. But he said he would fumble, but he didn't. He got knocked out by a station, get embarrassing, but that was a huge win. It wasn't in for the title shot, but it seems that really stronger on the ground and absolutely trying to grapple with that was be stronger enough.
Yeah, there's 2 things that you said in there that really stuck out to me. One of them was the body will catch up. Absolutely. The body's definitely going to catch up. If you're cutting that much weight over for a period of time, under a year, you're trying to fight 4 times, easier said than done. Another thing you said to me is, will it translate to the upper divisions? And that's the real question, right? Now, I didn't watch the fight per se, but it sounds like so the referees didn't stop the fight. The crew threw in the towel. What it was? Was it a complete knockout, or he just couldn't go because of his overall stamina and just the willingness to engage. And if it was that point, it's almost as if like that's why the UFC is such a crazy sport, because here I am on last week's show saying that Brandon Allen doesn't stand a chance, and I didn't really necessarily watch the fight, but I had Ramirez, one of the top middleweights in the world, coming into this fight, at least in the top 5, and just to see the match results. After that match ended, I was per se shocked. I didn't get a chance to go back and watch it. It is something that I am intrigued by. Go right ahead, Rafael.
Yeah, and I was trying to tell like to Renatier de Radier because they just realized that how good is getting involved right now, but it seems that Reina de Radier, just remember it's like it's not Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it's now UFC BBG, because to be honest, right now they just wanted to break out all of the barriers, and they have to concede the match after the fourth round because I know that Brendan Allen says the end of the Rainier bout have the conclusions about the conclusion about for like the main event, but I know he wants to be like really hunger, to be honest. I mean, between for like Brendan Allen, he's just like more than a like physical athlete, and he wants to cry it down. He wants to like he rather to be like in a knockdown than quit like everything. I mean, it's not gonna be like a really stuff coming up there, to be honest. I mean, there's like more important about like the grappling and striking, but of course, it's not gonna be like a really restarting on this full, but this seems like it was just like a pump it up because I cannot believe that it looked like it was so good at against a Whitaker so bad. But to be honest, right now, I mean, that was just like a great performance. And most of the part right now, because not only not only the people are just really surprised, but also during for the UFC Vancouver about for the, like last week between for the fight night, Marlon Vera got really rough. He got really raw on Canada because he always thinks he's raw because he actually raw Pedro Munoz himself. I mean, does anyone remember when that one judge scored for the fight against Corey when Corey probably won every round? I mean, pretty sure that Corey said that a job to the crush it against him because he has some personal issues. But most of them, most of them for the opponents come as aggressive with the third stars, immediately get scared off into the cage. I know that Marlon Vera got really lost. I know this really happened for like all of the fighters when it comes to like a lost streak. I mean, some of the fans are really frustrating to watch, but it has no urgency at all because some others are super shaded about him, but he's like the third long lost edge rush. I mean, there has a lot of hesitation. And Vera has very strikes, but he doesn't set up a lot of combos. Doesn't think that his content is landing singular shots and breaking his opponents that way. And he stunts Sahabi pretty good at the first round with a jab check hook type, and he don't feel about it. But he's been like the same fighter for a while. Well, he really improved on. I mean, they can always wait for something to go for the guard and hurt the opponent. So I was really thinking about this, like, okay, he just lost it. I know he robbed. And to be honest, right now, sometimes they gotta please the judges and strong out some multi-punch combos like Sahavi in the round number 3 and the round number 2. But I just wanted to figure it out. I feel like I really pissed about like the decision of Marlon Vera. He felt that really robbed, but he needs to get improved a lot more about for the striking and grappling. I mean, Sahabi is very like athletic, but his punching technique is really messed up because he needs to get improved along with his coach. And when it against two really hard, that sees really something. Process will have to win with the athleticism.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you that I wish the game of judges, in MMA was universal. I just kind of feel like you can take basketball and you can play it in any country and the rules will be the same rules as long as it's the American basketball. You don't see basketball going to the fucking Olympics and then changing, right? I just think with judges, sometimes it's just so country biased that they're going to always root for the countryman. And in the sport of MMA, at a high level of competition, especially in the highest level in the UFC, there should be no place for bias. When you're a judge and when you're signed up to be a judge, it should be like a commentary. You can't pick a team. I don't care if you grew up in the fucking city, if you still live in the city, you can't pick that certain city or that fighter that the city the fighter is representing. At the end of the day, judges needs to get fixed, and it's never gonna probably get fixed, but we need to go in a way where judges can really, we need to get ex-fighters as judges, because I kind of feel like I don't know where these judges are coming from, but I really feel like 80% of the judges are unqualified to even be judges. So I kind of feel like just how we see ex-fighters become referees in the sport, I love that. I love seeing that. A guy that actually been in the cage and that is now refereeing. I would like to see the same for judging, because at the end of the day, if it's not an ex-fighter, it needs to be an MMA junkie. Like if and he never will. But like say for instance, if there's someone like MMA junkies like Joe Rogan, you know what I'm saying? Like guys who live,
Exactly.
breathe, used to compete back in the day, doesn't compete now, is a UFC commentator, but we need MMA junkies that's been around for a long, long period of time, or ex-coaches that used to coach high-level fighters.
I mean, that's right. That's right at all. All right. So after we just review like the UFC on Vancouver between Renan Radier versus Brandon Allen, and of course the robbery between Marlon Vera. So now let's get it down for the business for the UFC 320 between Saudi Arabia coming out for 2 p.m. because the preliminary starts at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Eastern time for the main card. So right now, let's just get started with the most part that everybody else for the main card. So first and foremost, we had Alexander Raki versus Asma Mushranu. Now, for striking, Asma Mushranu has a fantastic straight strike that could have gave like Mursaga a lot of trouble. And Mursaganov got the hand speed, ability to the blitz into the pocket, into the land, to land his shot, to the momentum around very quickly. And for the wrestling and grappling, I don't want to expect like the wrestling to happen about fighters. Because certainly there's going to be really knocked out that I really think. Because to be honest, right now, I mean, it's not going to be like a weird fight coming up there. But how is it supposed to deal about it? I mean, he comes to like this one for like, for example, Alexander Raki comes to like a 3-fight losing streak. It really appears like he was pushed too quickly into the top 15 after 3 bouts. That loss for against Osademir was super close. I mean, he was well-rounded, check all trades ability that he hasn't very count of many of those lows pre-fight. He has minus 200 to Bajkovic, minus 125 to Jerry. That's really the same game against Musagado because the only difference is the size. Well, he is 5 inches taller than Muskanov, and he has a 7-inch range advantage. And he's Muskanov is really small. It's a bit small, but he hasn't to let anybody just him yet. But it's gonna be like in a much confidence. But I had to go for like the momentum of his ceiling, being not known to have to pull it on this one. So probably, I mean, I just wanted to pick Alexander Rakib by unanimous decision because I know that UFC wins between Alexander Rakib has Brady H. Pat badly, but unfortunately, if he needs to get improved to really step it up for the competition, it's got to really better. And he wants to be like, I understand he's being used like a stepping stone to elevate prospects instead of building himself, but he has an ability that no one else could happen like it at this one. I mean, this kind of see like a takedowns landing and surrender, but between for that, I just choose Alexander Raki by a decision because I think he's gonna need to improve a higher strike accuracy and the defense. But it's gonna be like a really dynamic deal for the level of the competition. So it's gonna be like a close call.
Yeah, so Workage is definitely the more experienced fighter. He's technically sound, but he has some losses recently that it just slows that he is only 33, so he's right in his prime. But it just shows me that there is a method of victory for that guy that is 15-0. I just look at this guy coming in. He's 5-0 again in the UFC. It's not the best of competitions, but he does have wins against Jacoby. He does have wins to against Mendenfield. You look at Alexander, he's 6-4 in the UFC. He has a better competition, more skilled fighter, more technical sound fighter, and can catch him early and can put him out early if he does land a knockout clean blow. But he is 0-3 in his last 3 fights. I get it. That fight against Brawley basically hurt his leg. But I can see that homie Asmat absorbing the strikers and walking right through him. And I wouldn't say an early round finish, but I could see a late round finish, probably like round 3 knockout. So give me Asmat to improve to 16-0, knocking out Alexander.
There you go right now. All right. So next up, we got for the heavyweight bout between Alexander Volkov versus Jayton Almeida, the number 2 and number 3. For the striking, I really expected about like Volkov because absolutely he has a striking advantage as the only one who really strikes between 2 So they're gonna be expect the tall frame to be like in full use as long as the fire stands remaining. And between for the wrestling and grappling, Jayton Almeida is one of the most dangerous grapplers in the heavyweight division. If he can fit up. If he can get the fight to the ground, he can end the fight within moments. That should be a fantastic display to heavyweight Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because this is a really important, because it's not about Cyril Game versus Thomas Pinot. It's about Alexander Volkov versus Jayton Almeida, because I know this is going to be like a showstopper that could steal the show. It's going to be like a fight of the night, because you know why? Because they're going to do like something anything best, because it's gonna be like a clear style clash, because Volkov is the better striking, Almeida the grappler. So it's gonna be like a clash of titans, because normally you find it quite easy to pick out a winner here, because it seems they have a lot of advantage, but there's a clear advantage for Almeida. But the risk of the heavyweight there is constantly Volkov able to retain the confidence of Brazilian being too high, because the natural advantage for the striker is an unforgettable division like heavyweight, but I know they might return for like 15 straight minutes. I don't think that Volkov is like a light one puncher, so I don't think it should be like expected too much. I know it's gonna be like 15 minutes long, so I would go like 20. So they would give like an advantage to Jayton Almeida. So this should be like at the top control, should be fine for the gas tank of round 3 rounds, and give like the opportunity to Volkov find that killer shot that only stopped for the feet 3 times, not once. So I know that's gonna be like something important. So I will go with Jayton Almeida, because I know there's gonna be like a clash of titans. So Almeida knows everything about for the grappler and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it seems that Alexander Volkov is better striker, but only expected that Alexander Volkov gives like a fake, like I don't know, something like a weak punch coming up there, and Jayton Almeida can really could take it advantage. So give me Jayton Almeida by submission, round number 2. Oh, you're still muted.
Volkov's, yeah, absolutely love that prediction. You know, Volkov, his method of victory, he needs to stay long. He needs to utilize his jabs, his leg kicks. You know, he needs to avoid being taken down. But like my co-host just said, Almeida comes in with elite grappling, elite submissions. He's gonna find new ways to take you down, and he's gonna be patient. He had lost a couple of fights in his career, and I don't think that he's gonna go in there and try to make those mistakes. He did have that one fight where he was just kind of like hanging on. I forget who that was, but he kind of got like elbowed to the side, and then I think it was Curtis Blades. It might have been Curtis Blades, and he kind of got taken out that way by a knockout. It was a weird finish, but yeah. Volkov, he definitely needs to try to utilize his range, but I don't think it's gonna happen because, like homie just said, unfortunately, you know, those legs are too long and they're gonna get snatched up. Okay. And that's why I do have Almeida winning this fight by submission. Could be early first round, like Rafael said, could be late third round. You know, but I'm gonna say Volkov fades, and I'm gonna have Almeida coming in, taking down him and submitting him.
Well, there you go right now. All right, so next up, we got for the bantamweight between Omar Nogramento versus Mario Bautista, number 3 versus number 7. Now, for the striking, as much as Bautista has great striking, is like a more effective striker, so I had to give like an advantage to Nogramento here, because not only is a fantastic striker, because he has great volume and ferocity for his actions, the visuals, the crowd reactions will empower the judges that believe there's going to be more effective striker in the fight, and that all matters for the scorecards. And for the wrestling and grappling, I mean, do you think they're going to say about for like the wrestling and grappling and the cardio for both fighters? Not going to do it. Is going to take him for the more dominant wrestler, since he's the one to press the action. Overlooked the Batista takedown defense before securing a few takedowns. But it's gonna be like a pretty fun fight for the main card. But it just seems like it don't make it like very easier than everybody else. Because I know Mario Batista is really doing his best. Because it seems like the odds coming to believe that it does compete at that level. His win over Patchy Miz was a surprise, but it seems like it's more due to Miz, like a bit of fraud and everything else. But they're not going to do still firmly deserves the spot as the number 1 guy. Yes, he fought the belt and lost to Marav, but most scored it 47-48. It wouldn't have taken much of anything rounds to swing it the other way because Umar otherwise has been so dominant for the UFC career, winning all the round against Corey Hagen. But I just feel like Umar has enough tools to get like a comfortable enough to fight himself like over 50 minutes. So I think it is currently like to make it a ton of sense. And I don't feel like I'm really inclined to get it easily right now, but I think that I'm gonna choose Umar Nagurundu by submission round number 2 because he also lands with the strengths of lower accuracy and the defensive interior rate. So that's gonna be really interesting to see like how to get career because as a matter of fact, he's really good enough to be like a champion. Such like a big step for Umar because truly rankly it's gonna be like if something happened about for like the striking.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. I think Mario Bautista definitely holds a speed advantage in this matchup. I definitely think he is faster. I don't say he necessarily has the better striking though. I think Nurmagomedov is really underrated when it comes to striking. I think everybody's looking at that Mawab fight and kind of underestimating him in the way of his striking. But yeah, if you consider Mawab is one of the best fighters in the world, if not one of the best. And that being said, Bautista is on an 8-fight win streak and he's confident and he's solid all around. But when it comes to the ground, that's where I'm really concerned that I don't think he's on the upper echelon of fighter, kind of like what Umar is. I think Umar is gonna come in here, gonna make a statement. It's gonna come down to Hoyt, and I could see a second or third round submission as well. So give me Umar.
Yep, that is right now. That is all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to bring it out for the co-main event for the women's strawweight championship bout: Berna Jaridirova versus Mackenzie Dern. For the striking, neither fighter are particularly good strikers. I do really want that Mackenzie Dern drew straw with disgusting intent, while Jaridirova might be like a more clean and technical her striking, and Paro could be like a massive factor to winning fights. And for the wrestling and grappling, I cannot believe that both women had to talk about like the wrestling and grappling here because that means a lot. But I'm going to suspect that Berna Jaridirova is going to be at the top control for the most part. And to be honest, right now, I mean, it's not going to be like something like a weird fight coming up there because it's going to be expected to go too long because Mackenzie Dern is like 32 years old. And after a lifetime of criticizing like the lack of evolution, I think she's finally starting to get it. She was like never be really sharp, but she really get it. But the enthusiasm and her base skill set are really enough because some of those persons that really hate of her wrestling and lack of ability, she doesn't even grab to out at all. But suddenly, I mean, Mackenzie Dern, I mean, she wants to land takedowns to win. It is not just like to falling off of the victim, especially like across 25 minutes. And I think that Mackenzie Dern could be the underdog because I really think that that'll be like something a great job to making the things for herself. Because to be honest, right now, Berna, if she like to go for it, she wants to like the takedown. She had a higher count of significant strikes at each round, despite the number of strikes thrown. I mean, clearly, I mean, give me Mackenzie Dern because clearly he's the harder hitter of the two, which increases like the chance of hiding the finish compared like Berna, which is closely submission related. So I know that Mackenzie Dern is a better striker and Jadira is a better wrestler. So don't even expect it. Don't even expect it that if they had something reason about it. So give me Mackenzie Dern as technical knockout at round number 3. Because to be honest, right now, her ground style, I mean, could be really powerful and they could be really knocked down against Baron Jaridirova about for like his cardio. Her cardio, I mean, her cardio of Gina Barduma is really gas right now. So Mackenzie Dern could be like something to take advantage.
Yeah, so coming into this fight, Dern definitely has the advantage when it comes to she actually beat her before at UFC 256. She beat her by
Mhm.
unanimous decision, so that's definitely is going to be a rematch. Totally different fighters up at this point. Vanna coming in at that high level, grappling specialist, solid submissions, excellent top control. But Dern is also a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she's super high level. She's dangerous off her back, and she's fucking scrappy. She does have the way more improved striking, and I think she has the better striking. So I think if Dunn takes the fight to Werner and she's timed and she utilizes her distance and height, she can get the job done. But I'm just gonna have to pick Werner here. Reasons being is I just think that going against high level competition like Verna did in the last couple of fights and only losing against the highest. I think Mackenzie Dern, her whole career has been up and down, and it's kind of really hard for me to pick like a 500 fighter in a championship fight against a girl that actually been streaking. Verna, I believe, is on like a 5 or 6 fight win streak, and it's high level competition. It's not the best of the best, but it's high level competition, and I think she had that taste of that title back in the day and she lost it. This is going to be Mackenzie Dern's first shot at a title opportunity. Does she own the moment? If she really
Mhm.
wants to, she definitely can own the moment. And I'm not surprised. I definitely can see Mackenzie Dern coming out there with a stoppage, but I'm gonna pick Verna. I'm gonna go Verna by decision. I'm gonna say she gets Mackenzie's down and she dominates her on the ground. I wouldn't say dominate like fully outclass her, but just controls the fight from the ground. And Mackenzie then struggles to get back to her feet. Even though she's good off her back, I just think Vanna's gonna be better this fight. You know, one last hoorah. She's 37, almost gonna retire. We've seen it happen in years past where older championships are crowned. I think Vanna becomes the strawweight champion, interim champion, or whatever it may be.
Yep, it is right. It is right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, after we just recap about like the co-main event, which is Rina Jaruiba versus Mackenzie Dern. Now is the chance,
And
the
let me
opportunity.
let me just say this too. I forgot to add
Uh-huh.
in out of those 22 wins, 14 by submission. So anything can happen. Go right ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, anything could happen. All right, so right now it is time to preview the UFC 321 main event. It is about to get down with a heavyweight championship bout between Cyril Gane, number 5 on the heavyweight division, versus Tom Espinal, the current champion. Now, to be honest, right now, I mean, this fight it should be like really easy or very difficult because in striking, I think in terms of power and speed, Espinal wins the striking game. But the kickboxing and Cyril game is leaks about degenerate boxing of Espinal. So if that fight remains clean and technical, Game could easily win this one for a rounds go by. But if Espinal is able to shut it at striking down and find his own counters to time of blades, it could be like a tough one for Game. And for the wrestling and grappling, both wrestling the good on the ground when it comes to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But I agree about that catch of wrestling in Espinal is going to be too far for Game to defend. And while this Game to bring a solid wrestling training garnered with Paulia Rahmani, and I don't know if one can do like change everything back for the takedown defense and grappling defense. So that would make a lot of ring sense. But between for like the co-main event, the main event, I mean, this feels like a conclusion to most. Espinal is much harder hitter, is quicker than most guys that Gain has fought, and Gain has looked very sketchy in the most recent fights, and Espinal has a massive grappling advantage. But the vastness of gain doesn't apply for the grappling remote. If Zaspinal comes looking for the ground for the Frenchman, I mean, he'll really justify for the step price tag. But Zaspinal isn't exactly the most trusty because he shouldn't done for like Pavlovich, and he did it. He hasn't done for like most of the games of the opposition. You can't really knock them for that. So maybe they're gonna like it this one, but as soon as Espinal wins the fight, 80% of the time, because his secondary skill set where the gap of skill lies. It won't take too much to serial game. Could be the Sarah's chance to win it here, but I know there's gonna be look at it, a good fight. And a lot of persons, and I just wanted to tell you, a lot of content creators, influencers, journalists, and of course, a lot of big writers they want Tom Aspinall to win, and some of those persons they want Cyril Game to win. But in my opinion, right now, I know that in some of the predictions that I just told that Cyril Game could win against Tom Aspinall. But right now, I just wanted to tell you, between for all these videos of training and he was getting ready before for this fight, I think it's gonna be really close, despite for the strengthening and the speed and power advantage. But she will gain as a matter of the badness. What happened if Aspinall doesn't finish him in round number 1? That's a completely different fight for the champion, and we had never seen him. And don't forget that Aspinall's longest UFC fight is only 6 minutes long. And he was looking for like a human against Andrei Arlovsky in the latter half of the round one. There's no certainly has near the level of fighter that has shown himself outside 7.5 minutes. We know that Game can fight for over 25 minutes. And his entire game is based around for the race mitigation and patience. And that's very plausible because Tom doesn't have the cardio and wills. And Aspinall's entire game is around early finishes. And game is a tougher test for any heavyweight with that mission statement. So give me Cyril Game, probably a knocked out, round number 4.
Chloe, did you just pick Cyril Game?
Yeah, I just say Cyril Game.
That's awesome. Going into this fight, I don't understand how everybody is like counting out Cyril Game. I mean, like this guy has 6 TKOs, 3 submissions in his MMA career. He has been. I honestly think he's been in the bigger moments. He has bigger moments in the octagon, because he's been in there with high level competition. Not like Tom Aspinall has not. But you look at his 2 losses, and it comes against the 2 best in the sport. At the time, we had Ngannou and then we have John Jones, right? And John Jones hasn't lost to anybody. So that being said, though, what separates it is the octagon experience, right? I mean, like we have Cyril Gane that has this more time in the ring, but something about Tom, which everybody captivates to, is he just takes people out. The fighters that he shouldn't be doing it to, he does it to, and that's why it's really hard. As much as I respect Cyril Gane, as much as I think he's a contender, and he shouldn't get overlooked, and he should get his respect. And I love the fact, and I'm actually shocked the fact that you're picking him, because he is a skilled fighter, and it wouldn't shock me at all if he wins. One thing about Tom that I question, as what we have to see all our contenders and all our prospects go through, is the test, right? Or how do you overcome, not objective. How do you overcome bad situations in the octagon, right? When things are not going your way, and we haven't seen him get tested yet. He haven't been in a moment where he got tested. I don't count that knee injury because that happened in the first 15 seconds, and that wasn't even adversity. But how do you come back from that? I want to see your stamina in the 3rd round. Is this a 5-round fight here? What if Gane runs from you the whole time? Are you just gonna try to chase him? I think he definitely has the skill to take Gane out, and I honestly think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a more slow pace of a fight. Gane is going to probably try to shoot for a takedown, try to get him down. Aspinall is probably going to stuff, probably be a bunch of clinching up against the cage. Both fighters respecting their fighter. So I honestly think don't be surprised, fans, if this fight goes fucking boring in the first 2 rounds, and it's not just that boom, boom, bam as we expected, as it will be. Now, Tom Aspinall, you've been training for over a year. Hopefully you've been working on your stamina, because I don't want you to go out there and try to chase. He easily could go out there and get gone out in the first minute, and then you'll be looking at him in the whole fucking different thing, and it'd be like, okay, we understand why John Jones turned down $30 million. But I think we're gonna see a more timed, a more champion spirit come out, Tom, and a much slower Tom, believe it or not. Even though all his fights fucking finish in the first round. That being said, though, it's really hard because it's a 5-round fight, and he's so dangerous. And I don't think I heard Tom say in an interview, and that's what made me pick him. It's almost as if you can't run for 25 minutes, bro. Like one of those fucking shots will land, and that's the thing that scares me. I don't think Seal has the best chin, even though he really never get knocked out. I just think that Tom, as much as I respect him. I really do. I respect Tom, and he needs to prove it. He needs to prove it. he needs to prove why he holds himself as the greatest. And the one thing that I always heard about, and it's about confidence, about self-confident, but like, you know, when someone like Ilya, someone like Shaka, when they walk around saying they're the greatest, I mean, like, fuck it, you've never been fucking beat, of course. Take it. Take that title. Take it. Khabib, you never fucking lost a round. Like, fuck it, undefeated, take it. But it's fucking hard for me to look at someone that lost 3 fucking fights, 2 fights, if you don't count that knee injury, and be like, I'm the fucking greatest. It's like you lost 2 fucking times. Like, you know what I'm saying? You need a if you lose 2 fucking times, you need to put together a fucking legacy like a GSP where we be like, oh shit, you lost 2 times, but you beat those guys back and you beat fucking Michael Bisping at the last fight of your career to win a double champ stats, but you dominated your fucking division for 7 fucking straight years. Yeah, you're a fucking GOAT. For me, go out there and make the GOAT moments because I think it's premature. Like, I get it. You're fucking taking out your Curtis Blades, your Sergius. You look at this resume, your Polar Bears, your Steebix. You look at this resume, you're fucking crazy. But then it's like you look at the resume and you're like, let me really fucking break it down. I don't really see high-level fighters outside of maybe 3 or 4. So go out there and you beat a high level. Now, when you knock out a name like Gon, that's going to be like, now you're building something, right? Now you talk to me in about fucking 3-4 years when you're fucking wiped the fucking face of the heavyweight division and you're reigning supreme 20-3 on a 6-fight fucking win streak. I'd be like, yeah, championship defending win streak, mind you, and I'd be like, yeah, you're the fucking best. But it starts right here against Seal Gon. So as much shit as gave Tom Aspinall in the fucking past, I'm gonna ride with him. He should get this done early. It should be a knockout before round 3. Let's see it happen. Will it happen? Who knows? But we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Tom Aspinall first round fucking sub. We love it.
Yep, it is. And to be honest, right now, before we're getting to finish it off of that show, I mean, between for like the fight of Cyril Game versus Thomas Aspinall, I mean, that should be like a really important. And I think that Aspinall is a fighter that what's required for him to win quickly as possible. I mean, there's no funny about. So far in the UFC, the mostly scenes have been to dominate on people. But if you watch the Alexander Volkov fight, who was Alcor Strickler, Tom Jones had the first opportunity to take it down and choke him. Same with Andrei Arlovsky. He don't want it to get old man. He just kind of right on him. But I know that he was known for like watching all opponent tapes and fight footage. Someone to train that is out in the notebooks and ever find who the comes against with. And he just like more analytical than really people think. Because I know there's like a heel hook when he was like a kid original scene. There was like a tendency to keep off of the chin with the air while blitzing. And to be honest right now, that some of those people that are really worried about like Tom Aspinall, but for this style of fight, but it's that he's getting off the head for the chins and all the way up. He moves like a head back, not side to side. And like this head movement is presented, the chin is moving out the way. They really scares the heck out. They get covered to put to sleep. But I really think that I understand that Tom Aspinall could be like really surprised to a lot of the persons. And they really hope that Tom Aspinall can shoot early. Game might be the only guy for the division that can feel a boy for the kill shot for like 5 rounds, but he really doesn't have to commit. Tom has to establish the threat of the takedown, then really knock the game out. So they're gonna be like a boy for a mouse or everything. I mean, most of the heavyweights they generally get a champions who had a lot of defense, but it seems like they're not gonna really follow it. He really needs to stay out of the bike and fight to get like not tired at all. But 2 years of grappling, I mean, could be really enough to combat a lifetime of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, because they'll be feeling like they're a child, but they wanted to say the same thing because it's not about the power shot. It's a top ground game.
Yeah, and it just comes with everything, right? I mean, like he's definitely taking out his level of competition. He's definitely going in there and wiping the floor with people. He definitely he's a student of the game, man. I mean, like he's been training since he was 8 or something like that. And he definitely is the next generation of fighter. But Gon shouldn't be like forgotten about, right? I mean, like he definitely is the toughest opponent, whether you want to believe it or not, that Tom Aspinall has ever faced. And whether you on the Tom Aspinall train or not on the Tom Aspinall train, one thing I have to say is we've seen this book happen so much times, right? We've seen it in the heavyweight division so much times. One thing that comes to mind is Shane Corrin. Remember how Shane Corrin was this motherfucking monster, and everybody thought like, oh, Shane Corrin was gonna go undefeated.
Exactly.
You've seen it with Travis Brown. Remember when Travis Brown was the fucking monster? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying Tom Aspinall is not good. I think Tom Aspinall is fucking great, borderline elite, if not a really elite. But then the thing is, you know, go out there and I hate saying prove it because he literally knocks everybody fuck out. He literally is what 1, 2, 3. He has eight knockouts in the UFC, if I'm correct. 8 knockouts in the first fucking round. Five, 6 knockouts in the first round, and then I guess a rear naked choke win. But that being said, though, that's high level competition, and I'm not overlooking it. I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but at the end of the day, it's it's really hard to continue to do that. And if you go and you continue to do that against Gane, now we're looking at, okay, now you're fucking now this is awesome. This is special conversation now. But until he does it, and I'm picking him to win too. I'm picking him to win by knockout too. But I said that. But what he doesn't, I think we as MMA fans, I mean, like any given Saturday, right? Any given Saturday, and like Gane is not fucking no slouch, bro. Like, and I love the fact that you picked him because, like, you're Gane. You're looking at yourself in the fucking mirror. You're like, who did I lose against? Oh, some of the 2 best to ever fucking do it. Oh, that's who. That's fucking who. So why not me? Why not me? Right? Back over to you. Let's end this shit out.
Yep, let's get it in there right now. So I just saw for like few comments right now. So salute to Rory Pena, salute to Hanks Warzone, salute to you. Also, Jack Cannon say, Rav, salute brother, pumped to give my respect, not into boxing. Well, it's about Mission Martial Arts show, so we can talk about it. And Hanks Warzone did say this prediction to say Tommy Aspinall by a round number 1 submission. I was kind of like really interesting, but I really think that he has a lot of energy, but something had a massive grapple advantage. So I can guarantee it about that. And salute to AO Fire Raider. What's good, Ralph? Have a good life, brother. Salute to you. Also, I just wanted to tell you thanks for the love, for the comments. So right now, we can wrap it off with another episode of the Comic Club. Make sure to subscribe to Capitán Rafucho and my co-host Zion Zenith on YouTube. Also, you can follow us on different social media, Twitter, Instagram, Kick, because we're going to bring it. And to be honest, right now, tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to do a watch party of the UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi. So who will reign on the heavyweight supremacy? Is going to be Team Espinal or Team Cyril Game. So it's going to be like the 2 options that remain supremes. Who's going to be the new champion? Who's going to steal the champion heavyweight? We're going to find out. So thank you very much. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, have a great night, have a great weekend. And of course, as always, let's get it.